Hey guys, welcome back to the Darling Show. I am your host, Alexa Darling, and today we have an amazing, great woman here next to me. Her name is Jade, and listen, I haven't seen Jade in so long, so I'm really happy to have her here on this talk show today. So Jade, hey boo, how are you?
Hello.
Please tell the audience who you are. Who is Jade? Who is this beautiful black woman?
I am a mother, a black boy mom, first and foremost, always, and a bad bitch immediately after.
Period.
No, I am an upcoming attorney, also a community organizer, community leader, an activist. I am a fighter of the people, a fighter for all things righteous in women and children,
Yes, I love
especially
that.
minorities for sure. I figured out like what my fight is. I've always been the type of person to fight for everybody else, but I was fighting for the wrong people, and I figured out who the right people were to fight for.
Wow, that's deep. We're gonna talk about all that. Okay, we're gonna go deep. Okay, but first things first, you guys. Let's talk about the wine. We have to before we start every episode. We gotta get the the vibes with the wine.
Absolutely.
I'm a wine girl.
Me too.
So this beautiful bottle here, Josh, is Merlot, and it's from the year 2021. It's not too old. It has 15% of alcohol, which I love that because no, 13 actually, 13.5%, and it's from California.
Just round up. It's 15.
Listen, so we're gonna try this. I haven't really tried this bottle yet, so we're gonna toast before we start.
Okay.
Gotta get the. All right. Make it yours. Child, I'm scared my booze don't come out. Okay, here you go, boo.
All right.
I'm gonna get this here. Do you want to toast or do you want me to?
You can toast.
I can toast.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So I want to toast to this amazing conversation. I want to toast to you for being here. I know you've been tired.
Very.
We have been tired, but thank you for coming and cheers to us.
Us.
Salud. I like to say salud.
Salud. It's actually really good. It tastes like a lot like a blend.
Yes, it's a little dry, but honestly, it's not too dry though. It's a little bit of. So, towards the end of the show, we're gonna talk about the wine. Like kind of like how we feel afterwards.
Okay.
So just
Are we gonna
Think about
finish this whole bottle?
no, no. Ooh,
We can't really know how you feel until you finish the whole
sip
thing.
as we're talking, of course.
I'm just
Do
playing.
you? Okay.
I have homework, so I'm not gonna do it.
All right. So, and also, I want to talk about first of all, for those of you who don't know, I've been knowing Jade for a long time. I think it's been maybe like I don't even know how long. Queen to Queen back in 2015, maybe.
Was that 20? That was
Yeah,
not
it
2015.
was.
That's 2023.
No, sis.
It's
Queen to
2023. Queen to Queen was like 2017.
Okay, maybe I'm dragging it.
Yeah, you dragging it.
You're right, because I was married when we first met. I
Oh,
was married.
shoot,
Yeah. So I'm saying,
you
like,
were.
2017, yeah.
I
was
remember
married.
that, baby.
Child,
I was
wait.
like, you are a baby. What are you doing
What was
getting
I
married?
Girl, I was in love.
I don't recommend it.
I don't either. Live your life, y'all. Please live your life. Yeah. We've been on each other for a long time now. She has been a part of like a lot of the great things that I've done, like my vision board event. She hosted 3 years. Or was it 2 or 3?
I think it was 2, maybe 3.
No, it was 3 because I did
3.
the fourth one this year.
Yeah.
So yeah, Jade is Jade. I love her energy, and we became pretty cool after we were working together with the teenagers and stuff like that. And I think that's where we kind of both, knew that we had something in common because we care about other people.
Right.
And that was us. But today I want to talk about you. I want to make this about you. I want to know how you've been. How are you? Like, for real, how are you? Like, everybody asks you, like, how you doing? But I want to know how you are feeling mentally. I haven't seen you in a long time, too. So I want to use this space to kind of, like, catch up. And I want to make it very authentic,
Okay. How am I really? That's a really good question. We actually asked this question when we meet for my cohort, but I'm really tired. Like I just told you, like I just came from New Orleans for a work trip, and I work with the organization Collective Action for Youth right now, and we work with youth that have been impacted by the juvenile justice system, and then also child welfare and youth homelessness. So we went to New Orleans to meet with other organizations. And although I was very empowered, super inspired, it's New Orleans, right?
Yeah, girl.
So I was out every single night, was the turn up queen,
Yes.
was the only one that was.
By the way,
Everybody's
Jade
like,
is a turn up queen. Like, she's gonna turn up, and she's gonna make you drink shots too.
Honey, we was preaching and next minute taking shots. Like that's that's what it was. But I think I was the only one that wasn't taking naps. Like I was like, oh, go, 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 go. And everybody's like, no, Jade, I have to. Some people like stayed home. So I was out every single night. But I'm just really tired. And then like I got finals coming up. School year's coming to an end. You know, you get that itis. And I'm like, I don't want to do shit.
I know.
I don't want to do nothing.
I know you're gonna graduate soon.
I know. May 12th. It's coming.
Yes, that's the day after my birthday, by the way.
Well,
I'm excited for you. Yeah. Because I know you've been working so hard on this.
So hard.
Like every time I will see Jade, she's like, "I have to do homework, y'all." That's
my favorite line. That's my line.
I'm really glad that you're almost done.
Thank you.
And I know you're gonna be amazing at it. So I know you, right?
Okay.
But the audience doesn't know you. I know that you are a domestic violence survivor. You went through that when you were younger. Can you tell us about that experience and what did you learn and how? Okay, because I know that was tough, right? Like, what made you leave? Because I know a lot of people struggle with that. You know, when it comes to when people are dealing with domestic violence. So I want to know like a little bit about your story and also like what made you leave that situation.
So I was a junior in high school when we got together, and the first incident happened while it was my senior year. I was like literally about to graduate, and it wasn't like we were together for a good like year and a half before the first incident, and I was the first girl he ever abused.
Wow.
He was also like a foster child. His mom was a crack addict. And so he had his own problems too, and I think I was trying to like save the little bird that fell out the nest, right? So I always like was making excuses for him for his behavior. He was not a good person, like, and I was fooled because I was looking for that person. My mom had left, went to Houston. I was staying trying by myself. I was getting into a lot of trouble. Every time I was in trouble, he was like bailing me out, like. Super, super troubled. Like for literally the span was like from, I'm trying to think, January to like it was just a year stint of like just terrible violence, like verbal abuse, financial abuse. He paid for everything. So it was like, you know, you can't do this without me. You can't go here without me. Yeah. I didn't even go to the college I wanted to because I followed him to college. So, and that's when it got really bad. When I realized I really needed to leave, he had pulled a gun to my head.
Oh.
Yes. And he like chased me with the gun. He pulled the trigger, but he didn't have any bullets in the gun. Yeah.
Oh my God.
And I'm like on the phone with his sister, like yelling in my ear. It's like the phone's in my one ear and like the gun's like to my head. And I'm like, what is going on right now? And I'm like literally, this is like I had no clothes on. I just got the shower. He like yanked me out the shower, started throwing all my stuff outside. And I had started making friends on campus. Like at first I didn't have any friends. I didn't know anybody from my first semester of college. Like I was going straight to class and coming straight home. If I took too long, he was at my classroom or he was following me like where I was going to make sure I was like where I was supposed to be.
That's insane, yo.
Crazy, right? So crazy to think back on it now. Like I can't believe I went through this. It was insane, but I was so weak then and so vulnerable at that point. I just needed somebody, and he was that somebody. And it was when we came back home, and I think we had broke up. Like just for a little bit, like you know how you break up, but you really don't break up.
Yeah.
So I was like trying to like really edge myself out of it, and talking to other guys, and my grandma, I was going out every single day. I was one in the club Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, like drunk every single day, like not coming home.
That was like your coping. I think that was your coping mechanism.
Yeah, it just felt good just to like forget about it. And I think all of my friends at that point, we were just fresh out of college. We didn't know high school. We didn't know what the hell we were doing, right? We were just trying to figure it out at that point. We didn't really have a solid plan. And then I was in this situation, which actually made it worse. And it was like far removed from what my plan could actually have been. But we were at the club, and I was leaving the club. Everybody was drunk, and he had popped up. And I'm like leaving, and he like takes my ID. He's like, "You're coming home with me." And I was like, "No, I'm not. Like, I'm not coming home with you. Go be with your baby mama. Like, I don't want to do this. Like, I'm going home with my girls." And he's like, "Nah, you come home with me." So I'm just like, popping off at the mouth. And he like slaps the shit out of me. So loud. Y'all know how loud it is after a club, right?
Yes.
It was so silent. It was so silent. And I was like, oh my God. Like, he would do it. He would do it like in front of his brothers at one time. He did it in front of my friends one time. But he never did like in front of like people who we didn't know, right? Mm-hmm. And like that was the moment I was like, I cannot. And it's crazy because one of my close friends that I was like partying with at that time, she was actually fighting somebody else. Exactly when that moment happened, she stopped fighting that person to come fight him. Wow. And it's so sad because she actually got murdered like 3 years ago. Yeah. Yes. Ooh. So I take that, like, all that with me. I've taken a lot of losses, gone through, like, a lot of crazy shit, right? Girl. So a lot of things self-inflicted, but some, like, just poor decisions, but also just not being more aware. Yeah. Not loving who I am, not knowing who I am, not knowing my worth, not knowing what my true purpose was, just kind of like winging it, and winging it gets you into a lot of trouble. Oh yeah. I recommend winging it sometimes, but only when you really know, like, initially you have a plan of where you want to end up. I didn't know where I wanted to end up, but yeah. And then after that, I came home. I like blocked him. I started dating somebody else right afterwards. I shouldn't have done, but it was just my way to get over him. Right. Went away to school and just never came back to San Antonio. I left San Antonio and then moved to Houston.
That's when you moved here. Okay.
Yeah. And then now, like, even I barely, hardly ever go home. But when I'm there, I don't tell anybody.
So when I met you, you had just recently moved here then?
I moved here when I was 19. I was 18 turning 19.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So I went through that with him from 17 to like 18. Yeah. So just in a year. Because I had got with him when I was 16, turning 17.
Oh, yeah, you were young.
Yeah,
and a lot of times during that time, we don't know ourselves. Mm-hmm. That's when I met my ex-husband at 16 and then got married at 19. Mm-hmm. So, you are making decisions based off, like, emotions, right? That's what I learned, like, now that I'm older. Like, a lot of the things that I've done, like, the decisions that I make when I was younger, it was all based on emotion.
Based on emotions.
And I've learned not to ever make decisions based on emotions because you can either make the wrong choice or most likely it's going to be the wrong choice.
They always say, if you knew better, you do better. And I know that I've never seen abuse. Like, I wasn't raised in an abusive home, at least not physically, right? Verbally, absolutely. Financially, absolutely. But I've never seen my father, put his hands on my mom or vice versa. I have brothers and sisters. We put our hands on each other, but we're brothers and sisters, right? Yeah. So it was new, and I'm never, I'm just glad that I didn't have to go through that cycle for years. Some women go through that cycle for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, like their whole life.
They never find themselves. And I think that's a really difficult journey to do so, because when you girl, I went through it too, trying to find myself after I got married, and I'm like, who is this? So who is Alexa, right? Like, what do I want to do? And I think it took me a few years to understand who I really am as a person.
It does.
And yeah, and once you know who you are, though, you can never go back to that. Like, right. You never do. And I think that's the best thing about that journey. But I'm proud of you, girl. I'm proud you left, because baby, look at you now.
Thank you.
Who would have thought? Like, listen,
right?
Y'all. So I know you're a mom. I know you love your boys. How are they? I know they're like huge.
They are so
now.
good. They are too smart. They are grown men. They are my best friends. Like, I'm always so thankful for our relationship because we have such a good, open.
I love that.
We talk about everything. Like, I don't feel like anything's off limits. They're not into girls right now.
Yeah. How old are they now?
8 and 10.
Jesus, Jade.
Yeah, my youngest is about to turn 9 in August. So they are like coming and they are coming into themselves. Like, my oldest is like this macho, like he's a guy's guy. He like plays the game.
Yeah.
Wants to talk on the phone, like wants to hang out with his homies, like things like. But he always like wants to spend time with me, and I don't take that for granted.
That's so cute.
And then my youngest one, he's so like compassionate and like loving and considerate of everybody else. But he's also an introvert, so like he'll give his energy a little bit. When he's done, he's done. Like, I don't want to play with y'all anymore.
Yeah,
I'm about to go in here and watch anime.
Oh, he put himself first. I love that.
Yes, he does. Like, he's very emotionally intelligent. Like, if he doesn't like something, he'll be like, "Mom, like I didn't like that." Like,
that's good.
That upsets me. But he's also very manipulative too. He's a Leo, so I'll hear him and his brother in the other room, and I'll just like I'll let him argue for a little bit.
Yeah.
But then I realize, oh no, you're doing this on purpose. So then I have to call you out about it.
Yeah. Girl, them Leo's child.
Yeah.
Easy.
They are, and I have a Scorpio as well. So
I like me a Scorpio.
Honey, I'm about to go through it. I'm about to go through it. I already know.
I like a Scorpio though.
I mean, he's my first like little Scorpio.
Yeah.
Like, he's.
They're special people. I mean, I like me a Scorpio.
I actually attract a lot of like fire signs. My partner, he's a Cancer, but I'm like, I like fire.
How is it dating a Cancer? Let's talk about it, because
he's not your average Cancer though. Everybody think Cancers are like so loving, emotional. No, honey. No.
I wonder what his moon sign is.
I have no idea, but he is not one of them.
I was gonna say,
he's not.
I'm a Taurus, and I usually don't I don't think I ever dated a Cancer before.
Really?
No, I don't think so. I always attract Scorpios, Pisces, Aquariuses.
He is my first Cancer, and like, he is very loving. He needs to receive love, a lot, and I'm not that way. I want to receive love, but I give love also. I think it's like a reciprocal thing, but he matches energy. That's all he is. Like, if I'm not fucking with him, he not fucking with me. Like, that's what it is. He's like, I'm not about to kiss your ass. Like, it's not happening. But he also works in an industry where he can't really be the soft guy, and it's sometimes like he doesn't really have the time to take that armor off,
right?
And it follows him home, but I've learned to be like softer now. And sometimes being soft works in my favor, and then I want to revert back to being back hard.
Girl, let's talk about that. Because one thing about me, I've always been very like an alpha woman. Cause, they call it an alpha woman, right? I don't even like that term, whatever. But I guess I will be considered that in the world. And I had to like really work on being more soft, right, when I'm dating, because I can be very like bossy, like,
very,
and that's not always good, right? I don't want people to think that that's okay, because it's not. You're supposed to let a man be a man,
right,
and you gotta be a woman, and I'm trying to be that. So has it been difficult for you to let a man lead you?
We've been together for 4 years now, and I'm
4 years
just now realizing
Baby,
he can lead.
About fast.
Okay, because I was always, but I think what forced me to like change my position in our relationship is like finances as well. So like, he makes way more than me, and where I used to make the same, right? Being in the bottle industry for a long time, and I was always like, well, whatever I spend, I can make back. Yeah. Well, now it's not that right now. Yeah. But I have been humbled. I will say that.
I like that
for sure. Not in like in a disrespectful way, but just like, you can have what you want, but like, I'm head of the house, Yes. And just like, at the end of the day, like, respect that. Like, he literally will give me anything. But
that's good.
Not so much like because you deserve it, but just because, like, that's the order of things, right? And I know that eventually, after this stint in law school, I'll be making a lot of money too. So I think it's actually just like helping me practice to be a better
How to be
partner.
right.
Yeah,
Right,
and how to
for
work
sure.
together and not throw money at the situation every single time.
Yes.
And then learning my place, like just like
Yeah.
sometimes shut up. And I think that's
Yeah.
been my advice from every
Yeah.
single grown woman.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just shut up.
Yeah.
You know,
Shut the fuck
sometimes
up.
shut the
Like,
fuck
yeah.
up, girl. Like
Yeah.
all things don't need a response.
Yes.
And it's a very hard pill to swallow, especially when you're usually the person in the room that's always speaking.
When you're
up.
used to doing that. Mm-hmm.
But with him, it's like you don't need to say nothing. Just
let me be a man.
let it ride.
I got this. And I think it's a good feeling though to have a partner that you can trust to be a man, right? Because I know not all men can lead. That's another thing that I know.
But also men like to make it think it's their idea. You can like twist it up to where it's really your idea, but then you let him think on it a little bit, plant a little seeds, and then he'll be like, aha.
Yeah.
And then you're like, you're right, babe.
Yeah.
And you're like, I knew this was the whole time.
A little bit of
but you got
strategy.
It. Yeah.
Girl, listen, I'm over here, and another thing I want to talk to you about is, but before we get there, let's do a little break, right? We're gonna play a little game.
Okay.
Okay, so the game consists of you're gonna like basically just flip this thing.
Okay.
You know, it's gonna line into a color, and you're gonna pick a card, and the card you have to read the question of the card with the color of this. If I'm making sense.
Okay.
I can't even explain nothing. I'm so terrible at this, but. So, yeah, it's like a little domino thing.
I roll it on the floor?
Yeah. And you tell us what?
Orange.
All right, so she got orange, so you can pick a card. Any card you want, child.
Where'd you get these cards from?
Amazon.
And I have to read the orange question.
Yes.
Name the best way to pass the time during a rainstorm, a snowstorm, and a heat wave.
I'm sure you know.
Sleep.
Oh, I thought you was going to say something else.
Sleep.
Sleep, huh?
Yeah, get drunk.
You
and
sure?
Sleep.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make it spicy.
What, you have sex?
I mean,
Girl,
only.
you're not going to have that much sex during that time.
I mean, I don't know.
You know how long
I ain't got a man, so I
rainstorm,
don't know.
snowstorm, and a heat wave might last?
I mean, you're right, sis. Sleep. I'll take that. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. For me, if it's raining, yeah, you're right. Sleep, chill. But if I'm with my man, we're gonna cuddle together.
I mean, we could cuddle, but we're not cuddling for 10 hours.
I mean, yeah, for a little bit.
Have you cuddled for 10 hours before?
No, sis.
Okay.
I cannot. I like it, but not that much.
Right?
Give me some
It's
space.
a lot. It's a lot
Yeah.
of. I mean, we slept that long, but we haven't had sex that long. No.
Okay, so I'm single.
Right.
Right. I'm back single again, child.
Wait.
I know. You can ask. That's fine.
Wait, what happened?
We were just not seeing eye to eye.
Oh.
But I would say this: it was one of the best relationships that I've experienced.
That's good. That's so good.
And that relationship taught me a lot about myself, as far as like how a man is supposed to treat me in the dating phase, right? Because for a long time I felt like whenever I will date guys, men will always just it will always go through like to the sex quick. It wasn't really like them wanting to get to know me for who I really am, right? And I feel like there's so many layers about myself that that I would like for a man to get to know. But yeah, he was great guy. We had a dope dynamic as far as like friendship wise and everything. But yeah, he wasn't speaking my love language too. It was one of those situations where we were not fully compatible.
You feel like y'all could have had that conversation?
We had plenty of conversations.
I've been having conversations for 4 years, honey.
Really?
Yeah. Let me tell you something. And I don't know if people like relationships are really, 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 really hard.
I know.
So hard. Because you have to think like everybody's like constantly like evolving. Like you're attempting to do life with a whole nother human.
Right.
Who was raised completely different than you. You come into this person's life for a stint, right? And they've lived
Okay, talk to me, Jay. Give me your little.
Years,
all right.
Have spent more time with their parents than they spent with you. You know what I'm saying? So it is really difficult, and then trying to like peel back those layers and really like learn who a person really is on the inside. But I think you really have to think about like at the end of the day, whoever your person is, are they still that person to you, right? Like despite the bullshit, despite the fights, despite like I'm really not fucking with you right now, but I know your heart, and I know that if it was hell and high water, you would bring me on the boat. Like that person would.
Here's the thing, right? And I see where you're going with this, because honestly, I agree with you. But I do have a problem with people, grown as adults, right, that don't take accountability. If I'm telling you how I feel about a situation, if we're dating, and I'm telling you that I really need you to do better with communication, because the way you communicate with me, it doesn't make me feel like, you know, I'm important in your life. And you come and tell me that I'm asking for too much, or that I live in a world where that's what, you know, it's what's the word, like, I guess that's what's important to me, like basically making it seem like I'm just asking for too much. And I'm like, well, I know that I'm not asking for too much. I'm asking for the bare minimum. It's communication. It's a very important you know, when you're laying a foundation in a relationship, that's one of the main things you need for that to last, right? Or for that to be great. So, yeah, I just think it was a lot of lack of accountability, and I just could not.
I have a question. Why do people wait until they're like in relationships or marriages to go to therapy together?
I don't know. I honestly feel like it should be before.
Yeah.
Before. And again, I'm not saying that, girl, I'm telling you, it was a great relationship, but that I'm big on communication.
Yeah.
Big on that. And also, I mean, there were other things too, of course, but that was like the main thing for me. And I just feel like we cannot, if we don't talk, if we don't communicate, how the hell are we gonna grow?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Understandable.
So I just felt like it was best for us to go our separate ways, because I get tired of talking to a person more than once, and maybe that's why I'm probably still single. I don't know. I just feel like whoever God has for me will try to meet me halfway, and they're not gonna make me feel like I'm crazy for what I'm asking. You know?
I definitely understand that, but there also is no such thing as perfect man. No man.
I agree.
I'm still having the same conversation, and even if he does it for 2 weeks, I think if he does it for a little bit, if y'all were having those conversations, like, and he was like, "I'm gonna do better," and he did better for like a week, that's better than not at all, right?
You don't think that that's settling though? Like, okay, so you don't think that I'm settling if I choose to be with a man who doesn't give me what I'm like need?
But I think also we have to also like take accountability, like for ourselves. Like, what am I doing that I'm like he's constantly telling me that I'm not doing? Am I doing the same thing? And yours might be communication, his might be something else. But he's willing to like look past all that. And I learned that in my relationship. Like, I was constantly like pointing the finger, like, you're doing this, and he's like, well, you do all these fucked up things too. But I love you, and I think that's like the big picture for me.
Even
like,
that goes a long way.
I love you, like I love you, and I love you for you. When you're not the best person all the time,
right?
And sometimes you are hard to work with and things like that. But in the long run, when we're together for 40, 50 years, I think that the little fight that we had about communication is not going to matter.
Absolutely, but even that goes a long way. A person that's been expressed is at least is telling you I love you. How about somebody I'm dating who has never told me anything about how they feel about me? So I'm literally like in la la land,
right?
Because I don't know how you feel about me. Your communication sucks, and I'm just here like trying to work it out. But you're not. I'm pouring more into the situation than you are. So I think that, I mean, you know when something is not for you, man. Like, you would just know.
I get it.
And you know when somebody's worth fighting for, right? Like when you're like, okay, you know what? I know I'm not perfect. I know he's not perfect. I'm gonna try to stick here, because I've been married before, so I know what it's like to keep a relationship or going, and how to trying to make it work.
Absolutely.
So that was it. But he's great. If you're watching this,
it's okay.
I love you, but it just didn't work out.
Are y'all still friends?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, we're cool.
I'm not y'all cool.
Nah, we're cordial.
Okay.
We're cordial. I'm sure that if I text him right now, he'll respond.
Okay.
Yeah. It didn't end on a bad note.
Good. that.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
So, let's talk about motherhood a little bit. I know that you was a single mom, or well, are you still considered a single mom?
you know, it's a funny question because
I mean, that's a real
we
question.
literally just had this conversation because I was invited to speak at a single mothers
Yeah.
summit, and
Oh wow.
we had the conversation. He's like, "Well, you're not really a single mom," and I'm like, "Well, sometimes I feel like it." Like,
Yeah.
he actually had the responsibility when I was gone to take the kids for the first time ever in 4 years to school for 4 days in a row.
Oh.
They got to school on time. They got home.
Look at
He
that.
fed them.
Look at
they
that.
were still alive in their bodies when I came back. So
That's great.
But they're also very self-sufficient, so he didn't really have to do a lot
Yeah.
at the same time. But
Yeah.
I'm going to give him his credit.
Yeah.
But getting up 4 days in a row for him is like out of the ordinary. He never has to get up and take the kids. I always get up.
Yeah.
So I don't really know. I think in a sense I'm always going to be I'm single. I'm a single mother until I'm a married mother.
For sure.
So I would say I'm still a single mom.
Yeah. But I do love that you have the support. I just love how your life has evolved.
I have a lot of support.
Yeah.
They do not lack.
That's great because
they have a wonderful relationship with their dad, a phenomenal relationship with their dad. They have
that's good.
They have godparents. They have friends.
Yeah.
They are healthy, emotionally healthy. They are happy.
Keyword.
I was like looking at a picture of my son. I'm just so happy that they're happy. Like, and I check in on them. I'm just like, even when I'm upset with them, I'm like, did I hurt your feelings? And I yell a lot. Like, I'm a mom that yells. So I'm like, I don't whoop them. I'm like, why are the dishes clean?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
and they're like, sorry.
Yeah.
And I'll just go clean.
I think that's gonna be me.
Yeah. Like,
I
would rather not. Like, I like play fight, like things like that, like rough them up. But I don't. If I could not imagine myself having girls, like having boys.
Really.
Girl, what? My daughter would hate me.
I was gonna ask you, are you planning on having more kids?
Look.
Come on.
Listen.
One more. Look at me being
there
messy.
have been conversations, but my time clock is 33. You know my tubes are tied too.
Oh.
So I determine when we can have another baby. But if it's after 33, it's a no for me.
Yeah.
Because 33, one is just too old for me.
Girl, yeah.
Personally, if another woman wants to have a baby at 30, a lot of women are having babies at 33,
yeah.
34.
But I feel you because I wouldn't want. I always tell myself I'm 20, about to be 27.
Mm-hmm.
I want to have my first child at 29.
Mm-hmm.
People be like, "Why? You're still young." I'm like, no, because when I'm 39, my kid's gonna be 10, and when like 49, 20, Jesus.
My son is like, Mom, all of my friends' parents are like in their 50s and like their 40s. He was like, "You're so young," and I'm like, "I had y'all young. Like, I had my first son at 21, and then I had my second son at 22, 23.
See, but that's good. Look at you, fine mama.
Yeah, back to back, honey. Got it out the way. But I just can't see because I have a lot of plans. Like, I'm trying to be in politics and like run. I don't want to be at a podium with the belly. It's not.
So you are trying to get into politics?
Oh, absolutely.
What is your plan? Where do you see yourself?
Definitely only in the judicial and the legislative branch. I think that.
Wow, Jay, that's beautiful.
Policy making is important. People really don't understand the power that the legislative process like has, right? And I think they don't understand because they don't understand.
Everybody only thinks about president and
they think
vice
that the
president.
president makes all the laws and he made this a go. And honestly, when you really think about it, the president is just a spokesperson. He is the face. That's it. He doesn't make shit shake.
Everybody's behind the scenes.
I know y'all watch out this. I was watching this one. I think it's called Diplomacy. I forgot. But it was on Netflix, and I was like, wow, like, the Secretary of State are the kind of people that are, like, calling the shots. Your Supreme Court, they're making laws, but the committees are the ones that's, like, saying, okay, well, let's take it, let's not take it. Like, it's the people that have to bring the laws, like, bring the changes. Like, and people aren't understanding like that. And I think because of the process I was with this year trying to abolish the last 5 juvenile detention centers in Texas, like trying to get rid of them.
They trying to get rid of them?
No, we need to get rid of them.
Oh,
children should not be in jail. Children shouldn't be in a system that is mocked after the adult system.
Right.
It's insane. But
I worked at the Juvenile Probation Center here in downtown, so I know what you mean.
It's a lot.
It's crazy.
It's a lot.
Kids be like 11 years old coming in, they getting detained, and it's a lot. And I know that even mentally, that can like really fuck up, you know, a kid's
and then
mind.
they have no plan for when they get out. They're not really
Yeah.
getting help when
They're just there.
in. Yeah. There's no real education in like while they're
there.
while they're detained. Like you're giving kids worksheets and expecting them to get out into the real world and be acclimated and be successful. Like how do you expect that? There's no way, right? So I just plan on being that person that like I plan on definitely having a radical approach. I plan on just really just if I gotta call motherfuckers out, like that's fine. I'll play nice with you for a second. And I had this conversation with a young woman that I met in New Orleans. She actually ran for office too. Her name is Tim. Super dope. And she was just like, I'm gonna shake the state rep's hand when I see him and his wife at dinner, but when we're in session, it's on. Like I see you, but I'm on your ass. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like I'm very cordial, but there's things that we're not talking about that need to be talked about.
Absolutely.
Sure. So
I need to connect you with the previous guy that was here because he has. I think he also mentioned something about. Well, he told me personally that he wants to be run for office.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's really good. Look at you, girl. I'm so proud. Listen, I am so proud of you. I really am.
I've had so many people. A job told me that they didn't hire me because I didn't need to work there. I need to run for office. Like, she told me I was overqualified. She said you don't need to. She's like, I feel like if you take this position, you'll be unhappy. She's like, you have so much more purpose. And I think also people need to see people that look like them and who have been through their experiences. I've been on welfare before. I've been, you know,
they can relate to.
You know what I'm saying? Like very relatable, but I made it through all the systems and not even the bad way. Didn't have any handouts. I literally had to like work my way there.
Right.
But I'm making sure I'm bringing everybody with me.
Absolutely.
You hear these people say, oh, I got it. You know, I was poor when I was young. I had to pull my bootstraps up. Who gives a fuck? Nobody cares. I'm going to keep pulling everybody else's bootstraps up because that's the help they need. So just being, like, transparent. And I used to run from, like, my past and, you know, what I've been through. But I realized, like, my story saves a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
Me working with the youth that I work with now, if I wasn't able to, like, tell them, like, what I've been through. Because I don't look like it, right? They look at me just as this.
Yep.
You're just this pretty girl who got, like, you got designer this, designer that. Like, you don't really know what we go through. And I'm just, like, at your age, like, I was sitting in a cell. Like, at your age, I was getting beat down. At your age, I was fighting every single weekend. At your age, I was stealing underwear just to have some fresh underwear to wear. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I've been.
And I feel like that connects you more with them, too, right? Like, knowing who, like, that you guys been through the same thing.
Yeah. Your life, I mean, that all happened, like, between 17 and 19. I'm 32 now. So, like, in a span of, 13 years? 13 years is a long time.
It is. It is. I like it happened in a year. Imagine 13.
Girl.
Child.
That's a decade. Ooh.
That's how long I've been in the States. 13 years, girl. I had to learn English.
Okay. You learned English here?
Yes.
Shut up. What was that like?
Very tough. I went through bullying in high school.
They say English is the hardest language to learn.
Yeah. I don't know how I learned it.
Really?
And so if you go like on my YouTube channel and you look at my previous videos, you can hear my heavy accent. Like my accent was worse than this.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. It was crazy.
I'm always so envious of you because you know how to like speak Spanish. Like,
ay, gracias.
I'm like,
let me stop.
It's so dope. Like I wish I could. I mean, I'm pretty sure I can.
I used to be very shy about it.
Really?
To be honest. Oh, yeah. I used to not want. I didn't want people to know that I spoke Spanish, but when they hear me speak, they're like, "Where you from?" And, you know, but yeah, girl, it took me
that is beautiful
a few years to learn English, and then that's why I'm like so proud of myself now because I'm like, wow, like I really been doing all this stuff, being in front of a camera, talking, and then I want people from other places of the world to see that, like, you know, you can be here, you can come to this country and still learn the language and do something positive with it.
Absolutely.
So that's the goal, you know.
Yeah, I like really want to like travel like hardcore, and I think I'm gonna use all of my summers in law school to do that.
Let's go to Honduras.
I would love to do that. Like,
I'm serious.
I wanted to go to the goal was to like go to South Africa. This summer. Yeah. But I'm doing so much traveling for all the initiatives that I'm with, so I'm not gonna really have time because I want to go to Africa for like a month, right?
Of course, that would be beautiful.
Time out there and really just like connect.
Yeah.
And like go to places like Egypt and like really just like see other places. I've never been
Yes.
to Mexico. I think the most.
Okay.
I've been to Cuba,
Okay.
and we have a lot
Okay.
of beef in Cuba. I don't know y'all know that.
We do.
We have so much beef
I
in
know.
Cuba.
Girl, yeah.
And
Yeah.
Cuba is a beautiful
For country,
place,
yeah.
and it's so behind.
Very
Because
behind.
We're withholding from them.
It's the
right?
government.
It's the government.
Child, listen.
We are so fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
We can't even ship new cars to them.
That's what happens.
Like, that's how selfish we are.
Yeah, you see the cars when well, I haven't been to Cuba, but I've seen the pictures.
It's like the cars that we were watching in the Roaring '20s. Okay, like they have not upgraded at all. Like,
but I think you will love Honduras.
I think I would too.
You will love Honduras, the island, the culture, the people, very welcoming people, and it's not far, girl. 2 hours and 20. Like you're going to Miami,
really?
It's right there. Yeah, flights are cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me know. I'll take you. And you won't even have to spend money on a hotel or anything. Like, no, girl, we're not doing that. You can stay with us.
No, we're not doing that.
Well, Jay, this has been so lovely to have you here. Thank you for supporting this.
Of course.
I haven't even announced. Well, by the time y'all watch this, but I haven't really announced this to nobody.
Okay.
I'm just keeping it very working on this silently. But thank you for being here because I know you're tired, girl. We all tired here, but.
I even beat my face for you.
Thank you, sis.
I don't know where the strength come from, but I'm gonna show up for my girl.
Thank you. You always support. Like you've been so supportive, and I really whatever you need, whatever you listen. I'm here, okay, for real. So let the people know where they can find you online. You can look at the camera right there and let them know. Hey, find me.
Well, you can find me at Jade Elacia, JadeElacia on IG. Same tag for Twitter. I also have the Fight for Your Life Foundation. But if you go to my main IG, all my other tags are in it. She is a 2% is my legal page. You can follow me on my law school journey. I have not posted very often currently because I have been wrapped up in school, but I always respond. So. Yeah. Definitely. And then also, if you have a question or anything about the work that we do with my organization, we are at www.ca4y.org.
Lovely. All right, y'all. And before Jay, you finished the whole. She was not playing with the
I was just sipping and talking.
Can you show them the glass, please? She was not playing. Look at me. So how you like the wine?
I feel good. It's good.
It's good, right?
Yeah.
All right, y'all.
I think the older I get, the more mature my palate has gotten.
Same for me, because I used to hate dry wine.
I know. It's like, oh,
I used to
always I would never.
Yeah, and I love it now. But y'all, this is the wine. It's Josh. I'm going to put everything down below for you guys to, purchase. And it's for sure 5 out of 5 for me.
It is. It's delicious.
All right, y'all. See y'all on my next one. Adios. Bye.
Bye.